The house was built in 1805, and from sort of the second you walk in, it's got really unusual shaped windows. It's got these argy shaped windows, and the same for the doors. It's got lots of arched ceilings as well, nice original fireplaces. So yeah, there was just loads of character in the whole house really that we'd not seen anywhere else and still haven't ever seen anywhere else. It wasn't in bad condition. It was quite old-fashioned. It had been owned by sort of an older couple, but it was in livable condition. But yeah, it needed quite a lot of updating for what we like.
We needed to do a full repipe as well on the property. We viewed it in June, and it was obviously height of summer, so it was fine. We got the keys in December, and then our first night we woke up and you could see your breath.
We were in hats in bed.
The central heating was just completely gone, so all of the nice budget for furniture and all that sort of stuff just went straight behind the walls in pipes and radiators and stuff like that. So that was a bit of a surprise. But
we always knew we wanted to extend it and create sort of a big open plan space, but I think actually it helped living here for quite a while. And obviously I think the needs changed quite a lot when we moved in. It was just me and Ben, and it seemed massive and we were fine. And then we've now got 3 children, and obviously it's very quickly felt quite small. So yeah, definitely I think it helped us a little bit living here and giving it a bit of time. And I definitely think we changed our mind on what we've done over time. So we wanted it to, we love all the period features, so we wanted to keep all the period features. We just wanted to bring it brighter and sort of more modern. I love interior design, don't I? So I chose all the interior stuff. So it just gradually came over time really, didn't it, what we wanted to do, but yeah, it was more led by me, I think.
yes. It's exactly what we wanted. We perhaps didn't think that they'd be such a wow factor as what we got. They've far exceeded our expectation, that's for sure. But yeah, we always knew we wanted to have large roof lights, and being a Grade 2 listed property, like I say, in a conservation area, we needed to have the conservation roof lights. So it just ticked all the boxes really. So it's a Grade 2 listed property. It took us 3 years to get planning to do the extension. That was going back to the conservation officer, because we're also in a conservation area as well. And then the heritage officers and things like that. They were quite accommodating in some aspects. You know, the roof lights from you guys, from Roofmaker, they were happy with the design and what we wanted to go with. But then there was other things like the ironmongery on all the windows that needed to be approved. So there was some challenges, but then some things which we thought might be a bit of a challenge, we just sailed through. But it was a difficult process, but we're glad we're there, and we're glad with what we achieved. Well, it was from a Google search. We knew that we wanted to have roof lights in the extension. When the plans were drawn up, they were going to be a bit smaller than what Roofmaker have done for us. So it was a little bit of a Google from my part, because I thought, if we're going to live for this space for a long time, we want it to be right. We found Roofmaker, and their custom sizes, so whatever you wanted they can make, which just suited us down to the ground, because originally we were going to have 2 windows either side of the apex, but for you we could just have much larger ones. So that's why we found you by a Google search. The delivery was great. Not a problem. It was the day that they said they were going to be here, they arrived. So from a delivery point of view, no problems at all. We stored them in the garage for quite a while, because we were running a little bit behind. And then the installation was just a bit through brute force really, just to get them up there. It was just sheer manpower, but they were easy. The instructions that came with them were very easy. You know, I like to do a little bit of DIY, but I think I could have fitted them, to be honest. That's how well the instructions were. There was no scratching their heads. It was just get up there and do them. It was easy.
It was really important, because before, when there was the original wall here, it was just so dark in this room. There wasn't the glass doors, was there? And it just felt a bit oppressive at times. So we always said we want it to be as light as possible, and now it's really bright. So we've achieved exactly what we wanted to achieve. And I think the Rooflights are the main way that's achieved, isn't it, really?
Yeah, they're an absolute showstopper, aren't they? When people walking through the front doors for the first time, they're like, wow, as soon as they see how bright it is, and the actual size and scale of the Rooflights.
It's a lot bigger than we thought it was going to be, because when they were actually building it, we were worried at one point that it wasn't really going to be big enough. And I think it's amazing how actually when you put the colours on the plaster and the paint, it just suddenly felt so much bigger. Because actually during the build, we were a bit concerned that it wasn't really going to be what we wanted it to be. Especially you were quite concerned, weren't you? And
I think the difficulty, because of everything with the pandemic, getting hold of things, you know, there was so much delays, and you had to book everything in advance. So we had a garage full of all the furniture, everything before there was even plaster on the walls. So that's when I had a little bit of a panic, thinking, I think we bought too much stuff. It's not going to fit.
You thought the sofa was too big, and
but obviously it wasn't until the end where it all comes together that it works.
Yeah, we're happy now.
Yeah. So from a planning point of view, obviously I touched on it took 3 years to get planning. Some of it was down to us. We changed the scheme a little bit, but there was toing and throwing with regards to getting certain things approved, which we didn't think would be an issue, but then were. Conservation officers leaving, moving on. So then the rapport you'd built up with certain conservation officers, you'd have to start all over again, have more site visits. So it was really timely trying to get everybody, and obviously with the pandemic and things, getting people to come to site when you had to maintain social distancing and all that sort of stuff. So there was challenges there for sure. And then with regards to ordering things, we just had to ensure that to get in for Christmas, say, we needed to order things so far in advance. Our cooker, for example, we ordered that 9 months before we needed it, and it almost didn't come. So it's a bit of advice for anybody doing their own would be to make sure you've got everything ordered as soon as you can, really.
I think another big challenge was that we lived here. So we lived here throughout the entire renovation, which was not very easy. I think in hindsight it would have been a lot easier if we'd have just moved out, because obviously it's very dusty, noisy, and it's not very nice to live on the site, but we just couldn't afford, could we, to move out somewhere else, so we just had to live through it. But
especially with a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old and
a newborn baby. Yeah, it wasn't very nice, but it was, worth it now.
Yeah.
I think getting a really good builder is really important, someone that you trust, turns up. We've heard a lot of horror stories, haven't we, from other people, and we were happy with our builder. There's always little things, isn't there, that frustrate you, but in general, we were very happy. So I think that's a massive part of it, if you can be happy with who you're actually contracting to do the job.
I think trust the process as well. You trust that it'll all be worth it. There was times during the build where we just thought, what are we doing this for? I wish we didn't start. But now you've finished and you see what you've created. It's just about just going through the process and trying to enjoy it as much as possible. There's obviously times when it becomes really stressful, and you could bicker and fall out, but it's just trying to enjoy it because you're doing it together. Yeah, sure. So we had a budget, including contingency, and we ended up spending all of it. So the total cost for the renovation and for the garden and landscaping and things was about 160,000.
Brilliant. That's everything.
That was good timing, wasn't it?